Welcome everybody, my name is Morone Botta and I'll be giving you a general idea of what residential real estate talks about. A really short definition would be that a real residential estate are all of those buildings, houses, skyscrapers, anything that it's centered toward a family activity, so trying to avoid any business. A really good example would be a family that live in a house and they just do their normal things and that's their home. Another example could be a student that lives in student housing and those are buildings and he's renting. They're still considered as residential real estate. So we're talking about all of the structures that are not designed for business utilization. Well, what is the current situation of this market? Well, we understand that 37% of the sales in 2017 for went towards investment purpose. We understand that most of the family that own a home have done the purchase to invest the money, but there are big companies and big funds that are investing into a lot of renting is going into it, but a lot of sell and buy and sell really quickly in order to make quick cash. Another important factor is that home ownership rate in 2017 has been the lowest of the past 50 years. We need to understand why we have those numbers. Well, the new generation has jobs that let them move further from home, jobs that are more temporary to seek experience that make it almost impossible to buy a home. If you are actually planning to buy a home, in order not to lose the money that you invested at first, you need to spend at least 5 years in that home. So many people of our generation or older, they're not married, they're traveling, they're going to a new place, have they would rather live in the city center where skyscrapers are, where the life of the city is. People from the baby boomers, like our parents, they would rather live on the outskirts. A really great example is Houston, Texas. As you see, Houston, Texas is turning a good percentage of those buildings of the city center, or more like barely outside the city center, into living and are not families, honestly, but they're just students and young people that like the city life. On the other hand, outside Houston is really expanding, as many of the major cities in the US, due to this moving outside from the city center from those parents that are planning to live a more calm life and they're trying to avoid the busyness of the city. Let us see then what are the future possibilities of this kind of home ownership. Well, home ownership it's a big word right now since more and more people are drifting to rent, and that's why the this business it's changing. We see an increase of building of structure that can hold way more people, for example, duplex, townhouses, and little apartments, since the big house idea it's almost falling on the side of the vision of the younger generations. So our generation is actually aiming towards middle-end houses and apartments. As a last thought, we have a society that it's kind of destroying the family, and who buys big houses or houses themselves. It's just families that have kids, and so everyone, the society itself, but the Mormon side, it's moving towards buying more small apartments, and that's where we're going.